Omnibus bill. Some say it's 1.6, whatever the math. Nobody got to read it. Nobody cares to read it. Nobody wants to read it. They're just going to vote on it. And the president, who hasn't read it, who knows he tells everybody he hasn't read it. Nobody's read it. He don't care who has read it because he's going to sign it but never sign another one like that again because he's going to read every single thing on it. I doubt it. Mm-hmm. The hilarity will continue because commenting on the political situation is just one big hilarious comedy. We'll be right back. Where do you think you're going?
The John LeBang Show will be right back.
So grab a beer and a smoke and sit your butt back down. Stay right here. Pane in the Glass, commercial and residential window cleaning for a beautiful sparkling shine that's crystal clear. Call Pane in the Glass Window Cleaning. You can find them on Facebook at Pane in the Glass.
If you want to contact the John LeBang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John LeBang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John LeBang Show. Banger. Now here's John.
And now your favorite game show. Here's Celebrity Drop It Like a Deuce. If you want to win a prize, drop it like a deuce. Are you sure this is a good idea? If you want to have a good time, drop it like a deuce.
I have a bad feeling about this.
No need to sterilize. Drop it like a deuce. Oh no. Drop it like a deuce. Drop it like a deuce. Drop it like a deuce. And now your host for Celebrity Drop It Like a Deuce. Here's John LeBang. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another installment of Celebrity Drop It Like a Deuce. Tonight's contestants are Dawn and Gary from the band New Day Dawn. Let's begin. Marshall or Fender?
Marshall.
1 point.
Yeah, I'd say Marshall, too.
1 point. SG or Les Paul?
Oh, we're going to differ on this. I'm going to say Les Paul.
I like the SG.
1 point.
No, I like the way they sound, too.
You do.
That's my signature guitar. I love it. Bon Jovi or Skid Row?
Oh. I'm such the
We're both
Jersey girl.
We're from Jersey, so we gotta go with Bon Jovi.
Disco fries or Jersey-style hot dogs?
Oh, I don't even know what a Jersey-style hot dog is.
What's a disco fry?
Disco fries, cheese and gravy, smothered on fries. I gotta eat I eat more protein than carbs now, so I gotta go with the Jersey hot dog.
1 point.
I'll go with the hot dog.
1 point.
I'm talking about my husband.
47 points. Movies or books?
Oh, movies for me.
1 point. 1 point. All right, 5 questions. AC/DC with or without Axl?
Oh, without.
10 points.
Wait, AC/DC?
He's singing for them now.
I didn't think Dawn.
I didn't think I knew that. What? When did that
He was
happen?
touring with AC/DC.
So the question remains, AC/DC with or without Axl Rose?
Well, here's the problem. If AC/DC without Axl Rose, they don't have a singer, so they're kind of no longer a band. So the choice is AC/DC making new music with Axl, or no more AC/DC music at all.
Or it could be AC/DC prior singers versus him being a singer in the band.
Well, if it's that there's no contest. Then without Axl.
10 points. If you were an Olympic sport, what would you be?
I would be curling.
200 That's points. 200 points. My favorite sport in the Olympics. Thank you. 200 points.
Olympics.
I
That's
like
a sport.
curling. I
That's the only
like
thing you watch,
curling.
curling.
Yes, I like curling.
I'd be a snowboarder
Or skier.
or a skier.
33 points.
The snowboarding is so cool. I started when there was no snowboard, so.
Yeah, before there was like X Games, right? When it first came out, and then they finally decided to put it in the Olympics.
Yeah, but it's so cool watching those guys.
It is pretty awesome. More random point questions here. Best band story.
You mean our band?
Yes, or any band you were in. Just best band story.
Okay.
I don't know if we could tell that.
Yeah,
the
well, there's
best
a
band
couple
story.
of them. Well, we'll tell the one about your snare drum. That's a cool story.
That's your story? Okay.
Oh, that's one you can tell.
Well, that's true. We were opening for Sick Puppies in Lancaster at the Chameleon in Lacuna Coil at, what was that? Revolver Magazine's Hottest Chicks of Hard Rock, right? And we were one of the opening bands, and second song in, like during the song, my snare head, I guess I hadn't changed it for a while, split right down the middle. I mean, literally. The whole entire head. I couldn't even play it. It was like a wet noodle.
We were playing about 1,000 people.
Yeah,
it was a big show.
It was a big show. It was like a couple thousand people. I flipped the snare. Like, no one was looking back at me, too. Obviously, the drummer's in the back. Nobody even noticed. I don't know why, because I kind of stopped playing the snare. Didn't you turn around?
No, the reason we didn't notice is because there's a back line. So this was a tour of like Lacuna Coil and Sick Puppies and Silver and I Set to Kill, and all 4 bands had back lines on stage. So they set them like, you know, in front of each other. So by the time we got on stage, because we were the opening act of those 5 bands,
We had about 5 feet.
we had like, no, not even. Like we had maybe
4 feet.
3 feet deep of the stage playing. So I was literally, if I took a step backwards, Gary's bass drum was like on my ass.
I guess she couldn't turn around.
I literally couldn't turn around. I couldn't move. It was like such close quarters. So that's why we weren't able to like run around the stage and see that I like literally couldn't move. Okay.
Right. But anyway, I flipped the snare over, and you know the other side is very thin, and like you can't really play it, and it's got the snares on it too, running down the middle. So I'm kind of playing it as delicately as I could, and that one just started to go too. So I literally just kind of played the song like that. I was like, oh my God, this is like the worst ever. This is like going to be the worst show ever, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, does anybody have a snare? I like never used to bring a spare snare at that point. And all of a sudden, like none of the bands were like willing to like give up a snare. But then all of a sudden, like one of the stagehands or sound guy came and handed me a snare. I never even knew where that snare came from. I never figured it out. But somebody lent me the snare, and I continued the set. And to this day, I swear to God, people in that show thought that was the most badass thing ever.
No, that's pretty awesome.
We were like kind of mortified, like, oh my God, what a horrible thing to happen. And everyone was like, oh, you're the band, the drummer's so badass, he broke through the snare drum.
He hit so hard, he broke his snare drum.
Because what happened was Gary had to hold it up in the air to show, because nobody could hear what he was saying, because he didn't have a mic. And so he held it up, and he's like, does anyone have a spare snare drum? And you saw the big hole through the snare drum. So.
Right, they didn't hear him on stage either, because it's awfully quiet up there, too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that became like where like a negative got turned into a positive. But I'm trying to think of another story. You have time for one more?
Sure, I'll give you 75 points for that last one.
Oh, what's another? I always go back to the Corey story. So when we were in our other band, Slush Puppy, we were much younger and before we had kids, so things are a little different back then. Partying went a little longer and a little harder, and we were playing a show. Jägermeister was one of our sponsors, and we were playing a show opening for the band OTEP. OTEP. Yeah, OTEP. And she was like drinking pig's blood on stage at that point, doing stuff. Anyway, so we opened for this band, and we're playing in front of it was an all ages show, and there were all these kids in the audience. And so much about playing is like how you're presented. Like, this is the biggest band to come out of New York City, and they're famous. And then all the kids, even if they don't know who you are, they think you're like a rock star. And it was definitely one of those nights, because we were being introduced by the host of Much Music, who's a celebrity, and there were other celebrities there. So we just got kind of looped in with bunched in with the celebrities. So we get off stage, and I'm trying to find my bass player. I mean, literally, we had just gotten off stage, just put our stuff away, and a bunch of kids wanted our autograph, and I'm looking all over for him, and someone says he's in the back room, and I'm in the, green room looking for him, and then they're like, oh, he's in the bathroom. So I knock on the door, and he's like, what? And I open it, and he is having sex with some girl that he literally just met. I mean, I don't know how he went from getting off the stage within 5 minutes doing that, but yeah.
Well, he's a quick worker.
He is definitely a quick. He was a quick worker. He's actually no longer with us.
Quick work of it too.
20 points.
What's our point total, by the way?
I haven't kept track. We never keep track here, by the way. We give you some point total at the end, and it's either true or it's not true. It doesn't matter because you win every time. So
I like this game.
it's pretty awesome. So we got 2 more questions for you. Movie that reminds you of your childhood.
Oh. So to me, it's I have 2. One is Wizard of Oz. I just always, every time it came on, I only watched it on TV, but I always loved it. But the one that's like a movie in the theaters, for me, has to be Rocky.
100 points.
My dad was a huge Rocky fan, and he took us to see Rocky. And I remember after we left that movie theater, he ran up and down the street like trying to do like the Rocky punches, and I'm like, Dad, you're not even wearing sneakers. What are you doing?
Dun 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. It's the eye of the tiger. Okay, go ahead.
Was that one movie or 2?
That's mine. What are yours?
Wow, mine are from completely different like sides of the spectrum of movies. Like one is the Shining, because that was like the first movie I ever saw like a naked woman in it, and I was like 12 or 13 or something like that. Mm-hmm. But and it was like first she was like a sexy woman, and then she turns into like a old wrinkly. I don't know if you know the scene in Shining where bathtub or bathroom, and she turns into like this old rotting wrinkly woman. It was disgusting, but anyway. And then the other movie is, I don't know why, but like the Brady Bunch movie, because it's like from the 70s. And I don't know.
Weird.
Because like, I grew up watching the Brady Bunch. That kind of reminds me.
Negative 20 points.
Come on, you didn't see the Brady Bunch movie?
Marsha.
I don't remember that movie at all. I remember the TV show very well, but not the movie.
There was a movie too, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't believe you said that. That's funny.
I didn't say it was a good movie.
Yesterday was our 24th wedding anniversary.
Well, congratulations. 100 points.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. See, after 24 years, you come on the John LeBang Show Music Hour, and you find out something new.
It's true.
It's like the newlywed.
John, you have to be our therapist.
Yeah, you don't want my fees. Anyways, for the last question here, most underrated band.
Underrated band.
Well, I don't know if they're underrated because they've definitely been. I mean, I guess that. No, I was going to say Nothing More. I love Nothing More, and I don't know why they're not a household name, but I don't know if they're underrated because the people that know them recognize their talent for sure.
33 points.
I say every rock band out there, because rock is just like where are the scenes for rock and roll?
150 points for a grand total of 643 points.
Great. Thanks, John.
Well.
And that's it for Celebrity Drop It Like a Deuce. I'd like to thank our guests, Dawn and Gary from the band New Day Dawn. Celebrity Drop It Like a Deuce is a John LeBang Show production. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for this first hour. But stay tuned. In the second hour, we have rock and roll historian and author of the book, Rock and Roll Unraveled, Derek Shelmerdine, joining us. Be right back.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Tune in again next week. Same time, same space,